Hi everybody, this is Rob from Sutherland Welles. I was going to talk to you today about our tung oil. As you know, we are the makers of polymerized tung oil finishes where we use raw tung oil that we cook in order to give it the special finish that we actually make. The tung oil is native to China, and the raw tung oil that we had gotten for 30, 40 years was a Chinese variety of the tung tree. And as the years went by, Mary had developed or helped develop a new site down in Florida that is going to start growing tung oil in the US. So now we are starting to get a lot of our tung oil from the southeast, around the panhandle of Florida. And this tung oil is from a different variety of tung tree that was made specifically in the 1960s for the US climate, which flowers 2 weeks later than the Chinese version. Still both tung oil. There's a little bit difference in color. The raw tung oil from China is a little bit more amber, and the American tung oil is a little bit more yellow. Performance-wise, they're exactly the same. Viscosity-wise, they're exactly the same. They're from the same tree. It's just different nutrients, different variety. So if you open your can up and you say, hey, this looks lighter, they changed the formula. We did not change the formula. We just changed the source. And we're very proud to say that we're going to be increasingly receiving more and more tung oil from the US over time. So you're going to notice it become more and more yellow.
And why is that a good thing?
It's a good thing because we're going to reduce the carbon footprint of the transporting of the tung oil from China to here. And then the other is that we're buying it from an American company, which enables us to kind of keep production in the US. And there's no reason why we can't grow the tung tree in the southeast. It's a perfect environment for it.
I have one more question.
Sure.
My question is this. Now that we're going to be sourcing our tung oil from the United States, see, look at that different color. It's hard to see it when you're actually having it on your hand. Your hand is changing the color. Yeah, that's better. And now I've totally forgotten what my question was, so I guess it wasn't all that. What's the difference between tung oil that's grown in the United States and China and South America?
Again, it could be a different variety of tung tree, but the process in which the oil is extracted is different.
And what's the difference in the extraction process?
The difference in extraction is this is what's called a cold pressed version, which takes the nut and basically presses it. Doesn't use any other methods besides pressure. The South American version actually uses a chemical extraction, which gives you a lower grade, less pure tung oil.
And less expensive?
The South American is much less expensive.
And so is this part of the reason why Sutherland Welles finishes are so much more expensive than other tung oil finishes?
Well, it is. I mean, it's harder to kind of get a pure product than it is to get a synthetic or manufactured product. And plus, all of our finishes are handmade, and they're made here in the U.S. So
and we polymerize,
we polymerize it ourselves. So basically, it's all in house.
And are we looking at raw or polymerized tung oil?
This is raw.
Yep.
This is polymerized. So we can see the difference in viscosity just by tipping these guys back and forth. And you can even see the color is a little bit different between these two. This is because this is the American cooked a little bit, so it's a little bit more amber than the raw, but then it's not quite as amber as still the Chinese. So it's ending up that it is a little bit different in color in the end. But you can see the viscosity of this guy is much more than these guys.
And with that increased viscosity means that you get decreased drying time for the tung oil and increased durability and increased sheen, correct?
That's right.
And we manage all of this without nasty chemical dryers.
That's right. Thank you.